Greetings and salutations, all watchers of Dice Scum. I'm Alabaster the Unicorn, and if you're seeing this video, we would have had it out earlier, but due to the idiocy of Adam recording shenanigans, well, we would have had this out earlier. But to be fair, that video was absolute trash, so I guess this works out.
Well, I'm Adam, and I was pretty dumb. I forgot to check to make sure that my side of things was recording. So it was a Dice Scum episode without Adam, which probably improved the actual quality of the video. I will say, however, the microphone's revolting against the rest of the commentators, though. It immediately dropped it down to about average.
I am Greg, your the resident weeb and FGO player, and right next to me is the other one, Factballs.
No, my name's Big Orca. I'll have you know, motherfucker, that you're slandering me, and I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna beat you up, you little twig.
I thought your alias was Big Smoke.
Big Smoke, Big Boy, Big Bobby, Big Boo.
Big Cheese.
Big changes.
Don't be giving out my code names, you fuckers. I'm
Big
undercover
Chungus.
here. I'm undercover here, goddammit.
I thought that was the guy he died to.
We're not gonna speak of that. Never again.
And I'm Randall, and I'm glad to be finishing up probably one of my favorite bad RPG.
Again.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's been pretty entertaining. This is I wouldn't say it's quite Neil Breen territory, but it's getting up there. It's about Getaven territory for me.
Yeah, I was thinking Getaven. Speaking of added entertainment, I just kind of find it funny that out of all the videos that we've made, the one that gets claimed is the one that has the company that released the Wraeththu B-side album.
Yeah, Christian Death. I'm just
It's not
imagining
the band,
like
it's the company that probably did it.
Oh, all right. That's
Actually,
a little
what's sadder,
better.
the band, like 30 years later, just like in their dumpy apartments doing this, or
Well-
the company that's I guess in a warehouse somewhere with
Well-
fake like office spaces where they sit on like fucking lawn chairs.
I'd see the band because I envisioned it as like the front man in a homeless shelter on his laptop. Like, yes, somebody use my music. I'm getting the big bottle of vodka tonight. Well, you know, Big Pete's just next to him. Shut up.
I mean, what if you're gonna claim this, you may get like what, $1 or something. I mean,
No,
$1.
not even that.
Fucking $1. We don't even get 100 people. So no. Not consistently. We have a few videos over 100 views, but no.
I mean, if you got $1, I mean that's a dollar menu right there. So I mean, I guess
Not
it's
really,
something.
because YouTube only pays you in $100 from what I remember. So he got nothing.
They took our $5.
Don't worry, it was all in Zimbabwe currency, so we're fine.
Wait, didn't they change their name again?
Probably. I just know that our number one viewers are from Zimbabwe, the Faroe Islands, and for some reason the Federated States of Micronesia. I don't quite know why.
Oh my god.
Sad thing is with us, I can't tell if that's a joke.
Our existence is a joke, so let's get into this.
Yes, let's do this proper.
So, humans have believed in magic for many thousands of years, even though political, scientific, and religious systems sought to suppress this belief.
Oh god, no.
Yeah, Gabe's going to prove his tinfoil. He's getting his tinfoil ready. Human Nature, a Tragic Tale. An extract from the musings of Malekes Harsul. Throughout human history, esoteric groups and societies have passed on secret and exclusive knowledge of the unknown. Each group claimed they found the key to true magic, but each fell by the wayside as dogma and paranoia. I didn't know the movie came in to crush these groups from within. That's a great movie.
Ah.
It's one of the few good Kevin
Yeah.
Smith movies.
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is also fantastic.
Basically,
ready for the next
anything
one.
pre and around Dogma is good. Yeah, the cultish behavior of many humans accomplished the only one thing, making magic farcical or something to be feared. Humans are random creatures who rely on instinct more than the knowledge and wisdom they have garnered over the years, because, magic is wisdom. It's not fraud. It's not being tricked into giving up my money to a huckster,
It's real wisdom.
says Gabe as he gives like $5 more to Peter Popoff.
Oh my!
Fear is a big factor in the life cycle of the human. Well, I can tell you a truth since you seem to be quoting Yoda. Chicken leads to egg. Egg leads to omelet. Omelet leads to fecal urgency.
Only if you undercook it.
Yeah. Which they probably do. Many human organizations believed in miracles but abhorred magic, stating it was the work of some evil force and therefore to be mistrusted. That's why there were such things as court wizards, court magicians, and why magic was really a thing that peasantry feared because they didn't really understand it.
Yeah. Fun fact: the Vatican actually denied the existence of magic during the Dark Ages because you can't sell your soul to Satan to get magic powers. So stupid.
Well, not only was it stupid, they'd actually like if they try to burn witches, they in response would usually be burned at the stake themselves.
Yeah.
Are you telling me organized religion isn't as terrible as people make it out to be sometimes?
I mean, it's still full of pedophiles.
And
Oh
well, to
my
give you an
God.
idea, the Reformation, the Lutheran, Calvinist, and other Reformed churches, as well as the Anabaptists, were far more likely to be okay with burning witches.
Term Witchfinder General comes from them.
So where was
I don't even.
Here we go. The human instinct of fear is a major controlling force in all of their magical endeavors. Maybe it is their fear of success or the unknown that limits their growth in all magical areas. Or maybe it's just plot bullshit. Also, humans have a distinct inability to work together for a common goal, as certain members of any human group will always want all the power, unlike the Har, for example, which split themselves by tribe and regularly go to war with each other. And in fact, one of the major plot elements is a potential genocide of either the Vars or the Gelatos.
Yeah,
I still
superior
can't get over that name.
species.
I still can't get over those names.
Well, the actual name for the Gelatos is the Gleaming or whatever, but who gives a shit?
I don't.
Groups eventually break down due to infighting, which inevitably halts all productive magical progress to the superior future where we can grow moon wheat using the demi-plane of corn.
Okay, if we play a 3.5 or a 5th edition D&D game, can we have a demi-plane of corn?
A demi-plane of wheat and corn. Sure, just so we could insert like a crazy movie Bob-esque level 20 wizard.
We like using Movie Bob as a punching bag because he's easy.
Well, not only that, but as of recently, he seems to be getting more angry and insane. So
Post some screenshots now.
And no, these aren't quotes from a Nazi. This is actually quotes from a technocratic consumer.
He's gone absolutely batshit insane. He's gone absolutely batshit insane.
And worst of all, he had the audacity to say Joker was not a good movie. Fuck you.
Well, no, the biggest fuck you was saying that he didn't like The Dark Knight after saying he did because some Republicans liked it.
I have no dignity.
Humanity's inability to work together for the common good is illustrated throughout their history, and it's totally not illustrated through our Shrew People problems. Every society and civilization recorded wars and conflict that arose from what often appear to be petty reasons.
Bullshit.
The most common cause for hostilities was belief in religion, often instigated by religions who espoused the concept of miracles but rejected magic with distaste, which is one of the biggest fucking lies. There's a lot of them in this book, but this is one of the biggest ones. Wars were most commonly caused because people wanted stuff that they didn't have.
No.
Pretty much.
Like the very first war and peace treaty that's been discovered, which was between the Hittites and Egyptians, was because they wanted to own some cities in the Levant, which made things like dyes, textiles, wood, that sort of thing. The Assyrians committed their genocides literally because it helped expand their mercantile empire. I am not joking. Their genocide was a side effect of them wanting to sell shit.
Oh God. What? Were they Paradox game players?
They're basically the Ferengi if they decided genocide was the only solution for acquisition.
It's not. Not.
But yeah, like, religion's only one cause, and it's usually just an excuse about 8 times out of 10. Like, to give you an idea, the most bloody war in the Wars of Religions period, the 30 Years' War, yeah, the religion was more of a pretext. It was really just, we have these long-standing desires to fix our lands and or take shit. And religion was just used as a shield. In fact,
Well,
actually,
not-
the Protestant Reformation was, in a lot of ways, just purely political.
Yeah.
Also, in many ways, we were rebelling against the political rule of the Catholic Church, which had enormous amounts of power.
Like,
In
the
Europe.
reason it did so well in Germany, for example, was the Catholic Church had some of its most corrupt bishops up there. Why? Because the electors could basically forcibly appoint them, and the Pope would war with them. And because they were neglected, the little bishops and archbishops could do whatever the fuck they wanted. Because the electors and the Pope were arguing over who had the ability to invest them. And in other cases, it was usually just literally political. Like Prussia, for example, not Prussia, but Brandenburg and Saxony and other states, because they had a rivalry with Austria for who controlled the Holy Roman Empire, because they each had powerful families, they went Protestant mainly as a way to say fuck you to the Habsburgs.
All right, Adam, we get it. Let's all 2 of our subscribers didn't come for a history lesson. They came to know about video games. I mean, tabletop games.
What are you talking about? What I just talked about was a million times more interesting than well, no. Gabe's crazy scribblings are probably more interesting. When 2 factions held different beliefs, they each felt the other should be eradicated or converted by force. Tell that to the Muslims who happily traded among the East Asian coastlines. Maybe this is why human magical development was stunted and in some cases regressed. Humans can't do magic, they have to be inferior. It seems that war was part of human life, and it's not for sure, people. Okay. I mean, the Gelato only have magical vor horses they use to deep drop troops and to annihilate people they don't like. The Vars only collect human-era weapons just to gun down their foes.
The Ugandans only are a bunch of violent tribal savages who exterminate everything in their path.
Their literal way of life is Mad Max hooliganism.
The snake cult's basically a bunch of pedophiles and pederasts, but I mean I guess that's fine.
And the Kakarats are basically just a bunch of gypsies that hang out with humans and maybe skin people alive. Who knows?
I'm bored.
While magic was mostly... It seems that war was a part of human life, while magic was mostly confined to the realms of make-believe. Gabe is so mad. They took power-mongering and the art of war and destruction far too seriously. I'm mad that this was a war for oil. If they had worked together, they could have reached a stage of magical development where they could found the key to true magic, which I'm not going to explain because, you're too stupid to know. Unlike me, Gabe, who may or may not be living in a box full of essential oils. Then maybe they could have saved themselves from their own oblivion.
So really, this is just Gabe Screed because he flunked out of high school physics.
Well, not just out of high school physics, but he's the type of person that believes that you could use literal fucking rocks you find on the ground to psychokinetically attune your ki energies so that they are more in tune and thus cure things like arthritis and diabetes.
I thought you
And cancer! Could cure cancer with rock magic.
Let's use magnet therapy to remove that brain tumor. Oh no, it's metastasized into your lungs.
Wait, did Steve Jobs believe in that kind of shit?
That's how he died. Basically, he had a very treatable pancreatic tumor that was caught kind of early. Like, it would have been a bit dicey, but he could have done it. He rejected it in favor of homeopathic cures. That basically, by the time he went to a real people doctor, it was terminal.
No.
Yeah, dozens. I wouldn't say dozens, but at least a few people die per year because of this shit. And the people that espouse this stuff should be thrown in prison for murder.
Well, hey, they say that there's no natural selection anymore, but I digress.
Well, no, it exists. It's called anti-vaxxing.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not sure. I don't think we're gonna focus on it, but I just really like the. I just really like the title. Oh, because for some reason I know it wasn't supposed to, but it reminds me of the TV series. If you know what I mean. Conscious abilities and the X Factor.
I'm just now reminded of Mikey from X Factor. I would like to be a tram worker. What? A tram worker. A tram construction worker. He was Taiwanese. What do you expect? English was his like second or third language.
All right, let's
He
Let's
did a
get
pretty
back
good
on track,
imitation
y'all.
of Frank Sinatra, though.
let's get back on track, y'all. We gotta get this over with.
335. Let's go to
Reptoids.
We're going to lizard people again.
Okay, so who wants to get this?
The gimp clowns who molest children. Who wants to read this?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be you, Mr. R, because, well, weren't you so excited about doing this one?
Yeah, I'm guess it's falling to me.
Look, I do it, but I've already read ahead, so you know, you gotta do it for me, Georgie. Oh, wait, your name's not Georgie, it's Randall.
The colomostopes favor incepting humans who are very young. Great start. After inception, education of new Hara is very important. All colomostopes are encouraged to learn about the past so that they know and understand what went wrong, and that repeating the mistakes made by humanity will lead to disaster. So, agriculture, not drinking where you shit, those sort of things.
Medicine, the ability to put little electrical nodes in your heart so that it can beat again.
All those
things are evil.
In most tribes, Hara are considered to be Ara immediately following inception, but among the colomostopes, a Hara will only enter the caste system once his file's Heineman considers he is ready to start training.
And no, we don't know what any of those words mean.
No one does.
I think File is clan and Heineman or Hainama is supposed to be the elder, but that's just context clues. You have to use context clues. It's like we're in grade school all over again.
This is generally when the Heineman is satisfied that any psychological scars left over from being raped as a child and the Hara's previous life have healed, or they are fully physically developed.
It's literally wait until they're 18, then smash.
Oh no!
Smash.
The colomostopes are known as serpent Hara because not only do they emulate the behavior of snakes, but they worship a divine serpent, Nagataka.
Damn you snakes!
Gee, I wonder where what mythology this comes from.
Or what fantasy role-playing game that Gabe got kicked out of at the gaming store.
It's obvious. Wushu, China.
Yeah, Legend of the Five Rings sounds pretty good right about now.
Yeah. And claim they are in contact with a mysterious snake-like elemental race, the Ulfrida, who grant them power and visions. So, yeah, the reptilians are real in this.
By the way, just to give you an idea, he's not even that clever. Ophidae is the scientific term for the snake family. GG.
Oh God.
I
So,
actually looked that up in between when I realized that we broke the recording.
Many Hara of this tribe carry pet serpents with them at all times, which they regard as familiars who assist them in contacting elemental or divine energy. So the pedophiles are just running around with a bunch of rattlesnakes.
No, not even rattlesnakes. You just find like random snakes on the floor. One guy has like has a fucking copperhead. The other person like a flailing water moccasin. One has just a little garter snake.
Oh God! Imagine if these guys get to Florida.
Like one of them's just lugging around this anaconda who just doesn't give a shit because it just ate a pig. Like the anaconda's just laying on him like, yeah, this is my life now.
He's their god. He's their local god.
That's Nagataka in the flesh. And the snake's just like laying on the guy that's carrying him, like whatever. Not anaconda,
Okay.
pythons. I'm dumb.
The Colomostopes are an extremely secretive tribe and will not divulge the format and content of their Majin boos to any pony else. If one of their Hara should breach this code of conduct, retribution from the tribe's leader can be extreme. Caste progression is likely a trial by fire that only Colomostopes can survive due to their extensive training. They need to avoid federal charge for possessions of child porn.
You have to. This is after rolling around in a canister filled with rattlesnakes that they just like intentionally agitate and piss off.
It's like a big 55-gallon drum of rattlesnakes that they shake up.
And then the guy is just covered in grease, like fucking jumps in screaming. Goes out covered in snake bites just to like a random shack in the woods to where he'll agitate Chris Hansen into doing a yakety sack style chase throughout the fucking wreckage of New York. And if he doesn't drop dead from the snake venom or get destroyed by the police, he's in.
So, Adam, want to read this quote?
Which one? The finest merchandise you're likely to get without a hefty finder's fee attached.
No, the one from Gabriel Chamberg. Oh God.
Okay. It's a colostomy bag. So okay. How do other tribes call us strange and weird? They are ignorant. We do not take offense at this, because we know outsiders fear what they do not understand. Our wizards are different to what other Hara consider normal, because we have the way of the serpent and they do not. Skylander, our gracious Archon, weaves an intricate web of lies to other tribes to hide our true nature from those who don't understand us. And this is right before he starts deep throat kissing a 13-year-old child.
I was just gonna say, this is getting too edged for me. Too edge.
This is getting to have a seat right there for me.
Like what I meant by this is this feels like a really edgy 13-year-old is trying to write this.
So what's it before?
Sorry about that. Doing the creep voice actually almost killed me.
Well then, should we skip ahead to page 355 and
just one comment
Cletus...
because in the last recording Greg pointed it out, but do you like the annoying Japanese rich woman's laughter being a name for a caste level?
We're not going to stay on that one though, but yeah.
Nope, we're going to Cletus and Bubba Jr. With Meemaw's dress.
Where's that?
350.
Because this, you need to see it to believe it.
Oh yeah,
oh my
Bubba Jr.
God!
Dress up just how Meemaw used to.
Oh, wait, it's not 350. It's 349, but whatever.
It rounds up. It rounds up in Wraeththu logic.
Man, those are some saggy man tits. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, those are some blocky. Those are some blocky ones.
I love the off-center nipple and the fact that he's wearing a fucking corset.
that gives him a muffin top.
By the way, he looks miserable. Like, I don't want to do this, but I must.
Family tradition. It's family tradition. Damn it. That's what Meemaw would have wanted us to do.
Actually, the other guy who's like fondling his hip, even he looks vaguely traumatized. So, like, I'm just envisioning like clan elders are looking around them, like Mima's like fucking officiating this unification. Oh
Do
fuck!
you like
I forgot the whack ass arm, which was redrawn. I forgot about that. And it's too short for his body dimensions. It should be down here. I forgot about that.
There's a lot of inbreeding in this tribe.
This is the tribe. This is the tribe where we all take after our clan leader, Scaramanga. We all have 3 nipples.
Don't bring in James Bond. This book doesn't deserve anything like that.
Actually, the person in Mima's dress is the actress they picked for James Bond in the newest movie.
Oh no.
Help!
Do you like the little fishbone necklace he's got?
Yeah, where it's just they couldn't even finish it. It looks like the tree level from Mario Land 2, the quest for the
I
6 golden
want one of
coins.
these guys to choke on a fishbone.
Well, I think the guy who's fondling this person with the off-kilter compass, because that's not a watch, might be, because look at his fucking neck. It's overly long, but I will give the artist this. He drew the head attached to that. That's actually kind of a challenge for some of the artists in this book. Oh fuck me, I just realized he has sideburns.
I think those are shadows.
They look like sideburns to me.
Oh god, is this Hugh Jackman? What did they do to you?
It's huge. It's huge. It's the love child. It's the fucking love child between Will Smith and Hugh Jackman.
Wait
hugging Tommy Wiseau and drag.
Hold on, guys. This is the second Dice Scum where Hugh Jackman has made some degree of an appearance. First, we had the Nazi Hugh Jackman, the Nazi robot Hugh Jackman. Now
who
we
crawls
have
out of the TV to murder people. Well, this is the love child between Will Smith and Hugh Jackman. Hugging Tommy Wiseau in Mima's dress.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh yes, who you want to make love to me?
Actually, the expression's perfect. Don't touch me, motherfucker.
Okay, let's say goodbye to Mima's dress and go to 360.
Can I talk about this one?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Once we pop in, I'm just gonna read the quote that's on the side of it. Time to spill some human blood.
Which is probably that fucking midget that's with them.
You know, he's the one I always seem to forget exists, but you're right. Yeah. What can we say that the art's not good? It conveys the point, but it's bad.
There's a hair-lipped cat man that looks like he just had an orgasm looking at this very mildly disturbed man bun wearer who... Holy shit, doesn't he kind of look like the actor who played Jon Snow, kind of? If you squint and you have brain damage?
No.
Nope.
Maybe
Adam,
that, or like
John Cena.
Orlando Bloom as done by a 4-year-old child.
Adam, I think you've gone crazy. I'm sorry.
I do like the #1 fan from Oblivion being in the background with his cat mouth.
I will say.
Oh god. Oh god.
Oh.
Sorry,
also, haven't you noticed that the artwork, like the line work, is so terrible that it looks like this person just shat this out in probably less than 30 minutes.
And the sad part is, I think this is actually Gabriel's own drawings.
I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I think the sadder thing is, if he had traced this from like a gay porno, it would have looked better.
I think he might have actually.
Best part about it, there's a quote up above. I never did things by halves. No, you do thing by quarters, and then eighths, and then sixteenths.
Also, the off-center cancerous nipples are amazing.
One last
The
little
dwarves
comment.
one is particularly hideous, by
Yeah.
the way.
Just one last comment on this. It's in relation to the name about the guy who wants to spill human blood. Adding more A's and K's doesn't make you sound foreign. It makes you sound like you're having a spasm. The keys weren't working.
Well, I think the artist and the writer might have had a stroke by this point. I do know the editor was long dead way before this point.
Question: Can you have? Does that mean Pig Roach's laugh is a foreign laugh?
Probably. I just fucking realized he's holding a goddamn kitchen knife. And he's wearing a bike lock as a necklace.
Well, the Ugandans stole all the weeaboo cool bondage knives, so they had to make do.
Also, it's those stupid fucking hoop earrings again.
Should we read the passage about guns and Gabe making shit up, or do we just want to go right to the magical realm?
I wanna very quickly go over that. We'll go real quick, so we.
All right. 379.
Okay, no talking about the egg. No talking about the egg or the image. Gotcha.
Where have all the guns gone? Who wants to take this little one?
I will take this.
Oh! I thought we were gonna let the Canadian, but sure, Al.
Where have all the guns gone? That's a good question. Zilla Shamercy, ex-VAR general. They actually have a command structure?
Well, they are supposed to be the bad guys, which means they're the closest to normal human society left.
The continent, now known as Megalithica, aka North America, was
Big
once
fuck off rock.
Big fuck off rock. You actually remembered my translation.
Oh God.
Was once home to large stores of guns, weapons, ammunition, and other military hardware. Should still be.
Yeah,
In a human society.
Yeah, both the U.S. and Canada have more guns than people.
In a society where gun ownership was just about mandatory, civil unrest caused by the rise of Wraeththu resulted in many bloody and brutal battles. It should have just funny whacked them with all the guns that were in play.
When we read the backstory, didn't they just sit in the Middle East and just nuke themselves until they all fucking died?
Yeah.
I guess the humans in this society acted like the average AI in a Paradox game.
Well, the average frontline AI, they just sent all their units to fucking Iraq, and they're just like, I'm getting destroyed by, mini stacks of rebels. Help.
The first large-scale fights were fronted by the human military. You think that it would be like the police and military police and the National Guard, but
I think
nope.
Gabe forgot, or maybe he's trying to do the historian who edits it to make themselves look better than they really are.
But the growing
I'm giving him way
Ugandan and VAR tribes quickly overpowered most of the northern military installations, and claimed anything they could find. And they didn't get any schematics, save any weapon engineers or anything like that.
Well, most of them were stupid teenagers and crackheads, so no.
With the collapse of the government.
Remember, it's like the south side of Chicago is where this shit started.
Well, even they can make handmade guns. They can make handmade guns in their damn.
Oh, I'm not doubting their ingenuity, but remember, this virus seems to drop the IQ by half by the time it's done.
With the collapse of the government and the defeat of the armed forces in the larger cities, people took their safety into their own hands. Anarchy spread. No one trusted anyone, and humans fled to They fled to Canada.
An analogy for George W. Bush winning.
Most of the military hardware was split between the Ugandan and VAR forces. Fuel for aircraft and assault vehicles quickly ran out once the supply from abroad. America has some of the largest reserves of fuel in the world.
Gabe doesn't know that.
Do you also think that any of these people have the brain capacity to reach Alaska?
Unrefined oil was available. Yep, we have some of the finest refineries in the oil, but no one was around to process it. I guess we're not going to save any oil engineers. That's
well,
great.
remember, they make clear efforts to steal doctors and embrace them. I mean, incept them. But for some reason, getting oil refinery managers and workers, nah, it's not important.
Jet fighters, jets, and other advanced technology quickly became useless. I could at least believe that. But I mean, tanks aren't that
Well,
complicated.
I'm gonna disagree because, case in point, one of the first tanks ever made actually was fucking powered by steam. The U.S. steam tank prototype.
Huh.
No, I was talking about, jets. I can understand.
Jets
but,
I can believe, but no, you can still get tanks. In case you're wondering how the steam tank came about, fun fact, in the 1900s to 1920s, there was actually a big war between electrical powered cars, steam powered cars, and gas powered cars. And steam actually had a pretty good chance. Electric, not so much because its distance you got out of a charge wasn't much. But steam and gas actually warred with each other until about 1915 when the electric starter became a thing. Because originally you had to crank a car, and that was dangerous. It could actually catch fire if you did that.
Out of curiosity, Adam, do you think you can make a tank with Flintstones power?
You honestly could. It was called the testudo. No, it was called the testudo. The Romans used that formation all the time.
I mean, if you really want to get basic but still want guns, get a wagon.
Oh yeah, like the Hussites' fucking armored wagons that they would just use to yeet around and just shoot people.
Yabba dabba doo!
They literally that was the tactics of the Hussites. They would armor up wagons and hide in there and just shoot everyone in their little mobile
that's
fortresses.
awesome.
They actually kicked the Holy Roman Empire's ass just with this tactic. Like, armored knights and Langschnecks got their fucking shit wrecked in by these peasants in wagons with guns.
Once the power supply was cut, the generators didn't last long at the hands of untrained Wraeththu. But yet, bumfuck peasants in South American get generators working with car engines.
Car batteries, or just building a jury-rigged water-powered engine.
Guns still exist, and smaller handguns are fairly commonplace, but a full clip and well-made, it's called a magazine, you dipshit, and well-made ammunition is worth more than gold.
Actually, wouldn't that be great if it was like Metro, where that was the currency?
Well, please, let's not bring in something that's actually good into this. Let's
You're
not
just
bring in
saying
something
that
that's
because your Fallout setting used that as the currency too.
Like I said, well, it kind of makes sense if it's like, high grade.
Yeah, like pre-fall guns, not burner ammo. That shit's worthless, but pre-fall ammo, sure.
The VARs make some of their own ammunition, but the methods are still not perfect, and it has led to disasters like losing a quarter of their forces due to not knowing how to store the ammunition.
Well, what happened was it began sweating. The explosives began sweating, which is very dangerous if you let them do that.
They also did not realize that if you store enough ammunition in the room, that it's important to wear rubber, because even your foot tracks could potentially light a spark in the air.
They put dehumidifiers in there and just kind of walk in like after rubbing their feet on a fucking carpet.
Oh my god!
all where they're
wearing coal
smoking.
dust. If you're wondering what happens if coal dust goes up, it basically is like gunpowder. Why do you think ships in the olden times would explode if you hit the coal bunkers if they were mostly empty?
VARs are told that regular weapon maintenance is essential. I guess the other tribes didn't get that message.
Maybe the original VAR was actually like a private in the military.
Somebody with basic competence.
Yeah, like maybe
in
they had basic training.
VAR-made ammunition is rough at best and will shred the barrel of a gun quickly if the hard does not keep the weapon good order. Jesus, how hot are you loading the rounds?
Also, how are they shredding it? Like, wouldn't it be more likely that it would jam or explode?
Yeah, they could be overheating the barrel to the point that it's just basically warping it to uselessness.
Yeah, like they're overgraining the shots, maybe.
In the next few years, many of the weapons the VARs will use will become useless unless they can get enough supplies and expertise to build manufacturing plants for the aim.
But they're able to build ammo. How come they're not able to just build a tougher, if not as good, gun?
because
Because the writer wants a fantasy setting.
Because
More
apparently you can't do shit like in Warhammer where you have steam tanks, gyrocopters, and fucking muskets.
I'd love to do. We could even bring up Gamma World, where you can have swords, bows, and arrows, but also guns and plasma.
I mean, for fuck's sake, that's Fallout in a nutshell. You can walk around with your bow and arrows as a tribal, and then you just walk into Frank fucking Horgan, this 10-foot tall super mutant motherfucker who's covered in pre-war armor and has dual miniguns that are plasma.
He's an inordinately large super mutant that also is covered in power armor. Yes, let's see your damn arrows affect him.
But like you could do shit like that in this setting, and that would probably it would help a little bit. Like honestly, the setting's wacky enough. I could totally use it for I'll mention it at the end, but like it's interesting enough. It's just because of his weird hangups, it actually cripples a setting that could be even more interesting.
More archaic weapons such as swords, spears, bows are appearing once again.
What about
I guess
axes and hammers, Chief? And
Yeah, you
polearms
got
and bills?
the halberd. I sing the songs of the halberd. Magic is slowly taking a foothold, but the Wraeththu still have a lot to learn about the use of such powers as weapons. I thought they were masters of this. So what is it, Gabriel?
My mind bears great pain.
Don't think about it.
Actually, I think the Canadian has it right there.
Yeah,
Speaking of
I'm
don't
just
thinking about
highlighting
it,
their magic's basically just psyker bullshit.
not thinking about it, and magic. Do you want to skip to 420?
420 Blaze it, sure.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
420
Thank
Blaze
God
it.
I need. Adam, if you were a
So-
drug, what drug would you be?
Lorna and the single gamer.
I don't know.
So,
Are we talking personality-wise or like what you want to take right now? Because for some reason I'm thinking Molly's right now. Actually, no, not with this book. That's a bad idea. Never mind.
No, you might actually start thinking this stuff in here is great advice, so let's not.
so who wants to take this part,
Why not?
or at least the opening paragraphs?
You're going to cringe
Yeah.
really hard.
Oh,
Sex or arona is extremely important to the Wraeththu, so much so that their physical, mental, and even spiritual well-being depends on it.
They literally
may be
die
impor-
without hanky-panky. It's the ultimate incels.
It may be important to humans as well, and we can get very grouchy if we don't get what?
You have to fucking add
Oh
that.
my!
How
Oh my
embarrassing.
God! I'll have you know I'm a proud asexual. Or was it involuntary cell? But I don't know which one it was.
Something.
Whichever
we live
whichever
without it.
more sad.
The Wraeththu can't. Unfortunately, sex and sexuality are for many people a very embarrassing subject and not one they really want to discuss while doing a hobby, especially when their mothers may be in the next when they may be in the adjoining room, or when you're discussing it in the basement.
Well, here's the thing, like, most
Maybe.
gaming groups at least have the dignity of not going down that fucking path. So, a lot of this, I think, is just because Gabe kept getting kicked out because he would keep getting creepy with the female NPCs. Oh, also, from what I remember, didn't he say, like, a few hundred pages back that Wraeththu actually can do fine without sex? It's just they go kind of crazy without it?
Yeah, I think, or
Like, they
something
don't
like
die.
that.
I do remember that they don't die. So, he's contradicting himself again. By the way, since you seem very uncomfortable, Biggie, I'll just spoil that.
I'm actually hungry. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go make a fucking sandwich. Fuck you all.
Okay, while he does that, let me explain to the audience what this section fucking does so we can move on. This is Gabriel Strange essentially telling you, the DM, to slowly force your disturbing, disgusting fetishes onto your fucking players and force them to accept it. Slowly, methodically, in kind of the same way a pedophile prepares a child. You know, this is grooming your players to effectively deal with this.
Yeah.
and that's no good.
It is virulently disgusting. We had some very amazing reactions to that. But fuck reading the rest of this.
You know, seriously, don't do that. Like,
If you really want to die inside, just get the book on Amazon and read it yourself, and then don't come crying to us when you do and you get angry. You have all rights to be mad after reading that, but don't get angry at us. You chose to do it. This is the fate you chose.
Anyway, on to Gabriel Strange's Do Not Steal on 422.
it's just a few. It's just literally like 1 or 2 pages down.
It's a few pages that kind of highlight how he would stat himself in real life, I think.
Also, actual ways how to play the game, which is surprisingly rare in this.
Oh, this is also the area where they give you the full character sheet if you really want to, for some fucking reason, play this game as it is. I mean, you can if you want, but I mean, that's kind of like choosing to, I don't know, stick your dick in a beehive. Why would you do that?
I mean, you can technically. I mean, it's either you play Wraeththu or you crush your cock with a rock. It's your pick.
Well, let's consult Yoda. Yoda, what do you want to do?
Crush my cock with a rock I must. Maximum pain I must endure. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so apparently genital mutilation is more popular than actually playing Wraeththu. Oof.
Yep.
I mean, it's very popular.
I do just want to note that his hair color is blue.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Like Krusty the Clown.
I crawled out of my Japanese. This is my character that crawled out of my favorite Japanese anime.
From the south side of Chicago.
Hey, I forget. What didn't? Was it this book or Sig that advocated crossovers?
This book
advocated
it. Yeah.
Then it could.
Oh, by the way, do you like how he doesn't specify the height and weight? You know he's using metric, but well, you don't necessarily know. For all you know, he might be saying he's 187 inches tall. Which,
no, 187 yards tall.
187 miles tall.
187 furlongs tall.
187 meters.
He weighs 90 bushels.
So many stone.
He weighs 90 shekels.
90 metric tons. But remember, in this game, actually being fatter actually helps you with magic. So being a fat fuck, you can do some strange things.
This way, I think we can actually represent this entire book with just the line hentai logic.
Speaking of delusional fantasy character, do you like that he intentionally chose to be over 6 feet tall? Do you think he's in real life a bit of a manlet?
I mean,
God, yeah.
I mean, there's been manlets. There's been manlets in history that have done fucking amazing things. Simo Haya, the deadliest sniper to have ever existed. He was only 5 feet tall, and this is a man that gave fright. In 3 months of actions, gave fright to the Russians so much that they
Don't forget Yuri Gagarin, who was like 5'1" and barely weighed 100 pounds, and he was the first man in space.
What about Audie Moore?
Yeah, Audie Murphy was like 5'2".
Yes, it was 5'2" or 5'4", and he's one of the most decorated
they made a movie where he asked to have some of the stuff he actually did in real life get taken away because he said it wouldn't be realistic enough.
But people, come on. How can you be forgetting the most important manlet of all time, Danny DeVito?
Of course,
in his most iconic role, the Trash Man.
Yeah.
When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash.
So, want to check out the fantasy map, quote unquote, on 429?
I have shown it before, but I think by this time the neurological damage of reading Wraeththu might have made people forget things like like their child's face or the ability to assemble a fucking backpack for camping. So yeah, let's see if they can see this and remember.
So first thing I just want to point out is that the Atlantic is now called the Girdle of Tiamat.
By the way, I'm going to rotate it so it's not fucking sideways. There you go, people. That's better. Yeah, the girdle of
Look at,
Tiamat. What the fuck?
but just look at all these OC cities and regions like the Caribbean Sea.
The Caribbean Sea.
What? There's Duwong. Duwong. It's Duwong.
Yeah,
Where the hell's that? I don't see
it's Seattle.
Yeah.
Squamish. Squamish.
No, it's Duwong. Get it right.
Squamish. I also like how Salt Lake City is not even close to the Salt Lake now.
Payaddy. Maybe that's like supposed to be Las Vegas or something.
Now Las Vegas is further south to that. Like it's basically on the same latitude as Orense.
What the fuck is Gebedon supposed to be?
Fuck if I know. It might
Oh.
be like Grand Rapids. It might be not Grand Rapids. It might be Grand Junction, Colorado. No, actually, since this is hippie shit, it's probably Boulder. Boulder,
Yeah,
Colorado
yeah.
is home of the weirdos in that state.
Maybe Fulmore is I don't know, Cheyenne or something?
I would say either that or Duluth, or not Duluth, Helena, Montana.
No, it's not. That's too. Helena would be more into Ugandan territory.
Okay. There's Chicago right there. Carmine.
Yep.
I like the Neovic because like when I think of a new way to say New York, wouldn't it be like New York or something like that?
Nah,
Newark?
that's too forced. New York.
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 Yeah, New York.
New York.
It's either New York or like just call it NYC City.
The land of the Star People.
What do you mean the land of the pedophiles? As well as Boston, which is above Boston. It's more like I think that might be New Hampshire.
So
Yeah.
wait, no, this might be Delaware. It could be Delaware.
No, Delaware. I know where Delaware is. It's south of Neovic, dude.
Okay. Like I said, I was just hoping.
There's nothing here, but pedophiles do own it, so yeah.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, there's a big war over Virginia between the pedophiles and the rejects from the Ugandans.
I think the Unida are basically the Ferengi. So we have the pedophile Ferengi war.
Oh, that's fucking fantastic.
Basically, the Ferengi or the Unya, they're Ugandans that realize they like money and profit.
The Kakahar are down in Mexico, apparently.
This is basically the Mexican warlord. It's the Central American warlord.
That's the disputed territory. That's the drug cartels in the massive war. So you got the Canadian brothers disputing territory up there, and then you got the Mexican drug cartels just shooting any shrew people they see.
And don't you like how these borders are just kind of splatted on?
Like they would say in alternate history, these are great space-filling empires. By the way, I just kind of like that Gabe took a leaf from the UC Gundam by just having a big fucking hole in California.
No, in Australia, you mean?
Well, he basically ripped off the whole Sydney Bay by doing that to California.
For anybody that doesn't know, basically a huge space station crashed into the Earth, destroying Australia. Now the Australian shipbuilders are all dead.
Well, no, only a third of them. 2/3 of them were saved by the space Nazis. By the way, Space Hitler this is literally what happened in the setting. Space Hitler says, "We're going to war," gasses the colonies, kills everyone in them, slams one at orbital speed into Australia because, whoops, they miscalculated. By the way, do you like how the Pacific is just called the Ocean of Fire?
I mean, to be fair, the Pacific Coast, at least for us Americans, it is a trash fire. I mean, the Pacific Coast is.
It's him trying to be cute because there's a ring of volcanoes that surround the Pacific called the Ring of Fire. He's trying to be cute, but it doesn't fucking work.
My question is, I wonder if there was an expansion book where it had the land, it had Weeaboo land, Nippon.
Oh God, yes. We'll get into that, but
I do know that Hokul will come into play in the expansion packs that never existed.
yep. And then we have the map of Europe. If you want to go over this trash fire.
Why is the Mediterranean named after having sex?
Why not?
It's the big fuck sea.
So
Fuck.
so I know. So I guess the Intergarum, I guess Spain is broken into yet another revolution, or this might be
Well, I think the Ferengi might be colonizing northern Spain and that area. They're like trying to rules of acquisition the few humans and gunning down the Shrew People because they are not profitable.
See, the
I love
not
the random.
Ottomans.
I love the random usage of Greek with the Keltoi. The usage of a Gaulish tribe to name a city that's vaguely, I think, where Paris is supposed to fucking be. Actually, it's closer to where Lyon is. The Greek name for Marseille, which was Massilia. What are some other fuck yous I've noticed? Freygard, that's basically. I don't even know what city it's supposed to be in Norway. It's not. Narvik.
It's not a
Narvik is
real
further
people
north.
city. It's a bunch of forests and a moon.
I like that I like how York, the city of York, just becomes Jorvik because Vikings once settled there.
Avalonia. Oh
Because,
boy.
yeah, that's where King Arthur is. I like how London's just called Lund.
And apparently Poland, Denmark, and the Ukraine and Russia have teamed up to fight the Shrew People in this setting.
The neo-Soviet Union, as well as the Denmark Confederate, as well as the revived Kingdom of Denmark.
oh my god!
Oh my god, Denmark got all their territory back. Yes.
Denmark rule again.
Okay, so in this,
Wait, how can
Denmark's a
something
real
work if it
country.
doesn't exist?
Oh wait, look at something I've noticed. I forgot. Where's the fucking Netherlands? Where's the Netherlands and Belgium?
They died.
They just slid into the sea.
they're not real. They're not real people countries, so they went away.
All the Dutch-speaking people just spontaneously died, I guess. Okay.
I think I see Zealand there. There's the two little dots, but yeah.
Like the the Walloons, the southern Belgians seem fine. But no, I guess Gabriel Strange is racist against the Dutch-speaking people. What do you have against Dutch people? Did they fail to give you weed?
He got laughed out of Amsterdam.
Oh, what's a fag? Oh, what's a fag? It's
He got laughed out of a fucking gay clubhouse, a literal gay clubhouse, a bordello in Amsterdam.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the worst name of all of them is Keltoi.
Yeah, that's literally the Greek term for what they would call all Celts.
I was actually just going for the lazy of it's literally just Kelt toy.
He literally stole that from a copy of Europa Barbarorum, the fucker.
I'm gonna say that I think the worst one might be the Sea of Shadows.
The Sea of Shadows is pretty stupid. It's basically a very edgy name for the Black Sea. Oh, I just realized that he used the Roman term for Britain, Alba.
Oh my god, does that mean he's a Nazi?
No, but he does rip off. But it does follow the tried and true British tradition of just very lazily ripping off actual history and just using it to fill in his shitty setting.
Good job.
Oh look,
and
the glorious city of Iron Rockland, Faralithia, which is around, I believe, where either the modern Croatian city of Split or Zadar are.
So, should we go on to the two source books?
Yeah, let's polish this thing off.
436.
Let's do this upside down, so just for maximum enjoyment.
Player's Guide. Further meditations on the Wraeththu. So, who wants to get this?
I will do this.
No, I don't think anyone does, but sure.
I will do this. The player's guide will add more depth to the world of Wraeththu, introducing more tribes and countries, even though it feels too crowded and
Well,
not well explained.
no, it's not that it's crowded. It looks that way, but it really isn't.
And helping the players to develop their characters.
But you should have fucking
This
done
is a
that in this
hentai.
book.
This book will help bring greater depth to the Wraeththu story and help explain some of the secrets of the Hara and their past.
By
What
the way,
about the
I like the reference to boobs equaling plot.
honestly, I just want to play the Neo-Soviet Union, the Neo-Soviet coalition, and then stomp their asses in.
No, we're gonna instead read such amazing things like Empire Satanis or that horrible furry erotic RPG called
No, we don't. I don't want to read. I don't want to review that one. I have another one. It's the one with furry. It's the space furry and cap one.
So-
Damn it!
There are two furry RPGs.
They're gonna be covered in the future sometime.
Further meditations of the Wraeththu will contain detailed information on the diverse topics, including the Archeons and the
Shouldn't they fucking have been
the
in this
phallus.
book a bit?
Oh god, 6 new playable tribes. The Polynesian. Oh my god.
Is it Tonga time? I think it's Tonga time.
Literally, the Tui Tonga Empire rises again.
The farce red small.
That's literally just Cuban immigrants, Cuban emigres.
It came. Oh my gosh! It says coming soon, but did these books actually come out? That's the question.
No,
Nope.
Mannion Press
Probably
died.
not.
It died. Mannion Press died before it could.
I think.
Don't you have suspect in the deepest heart of horrors there's a warehouse somewhere in Yorkshire or fucking London that has a couple dozen of these books in a fucking box somewhere?
You joke, but I legitimately had a nightmare about that.
And there's actually a missing third book or fourth book or something.
No.
That's only one unedited manuscript in Gabriel Strange's.
Wait a minute. This is a. I didn't notice this initially, but they did the player's guide and meditations. They did it 2 times. This is a typo. This is a typo in the book.
How did you fuck up that immensely?
Well, the editor died in 80 pages ago, so.
I think there's a Mystery Science Theater quote that could be put to this. They just didn't care.
They just. Well, I mean, the art before, you could tell the project was getting really close to busting the company because, Gabe himself had to draw some of this, I think. There's also the Storyteller's Handbook, The Inner Workings of Wraeththu, where you see 2 Wraeththu. Thankfully, they're already censored, but you can know what they're doing. I don't have to explain what they're doing.
They're having sweet, sweet flower sacks.
By the way, do you like the weird emo Robin Hood looking motherfucker just staring at them from the fucking tree?
Yes, my pretties, yes.
Actually,
okay.
he's doing a Gollum pose, so he is doing the My Precious.
This book will feature new information about the secrets of Wraeththu and give further insight into what is happening in their world. Maybe somewhere somebody has stopped shitting in the water supply.
Maybe somewhere the Vars realized they could just mass manufacture shittier guns.
New campaign ideas will be included for all one person who's going to actually want to play this.
Which is Gabriel Strange.
As well as extensive advice on becoming a better storyteller and more details on running your force campaign.
Remember,
AKA...
you slowly coerce your players to want to fuck each other in real life as well as the game. You have to groom them in order to fully enjoy the experience.
You'll also find information on the construction of campaigns that'll keep your players begging for more.
That paragraph is very unfortunate given. Look what it's right next to.
Several new playable tribes will be included, such as the bizarre Elkmen and the Sahalanthropus.
So, Biggie, guess what? Black people weren't included until this third book, which never came out. No
Oh
black
my
people allowed in
God.
my Shrew People setting.
You know what? Listen, if
Only
listen,
African
for once, I'm
Americans.
glad. For once, I'm glad that we were excluded from this shit show.
Only
I would
African
prefer to sit.
Americans from South Chicago.
I would prefer to sit in the back of this bus. That's for sure.
the artistic and beautiful Ferrite.
So basically, the what not to wear guy as if they were Shrew People.
And many more from distant parts of the world. The books will provide more details on magical rites and other realms beyond those of Harish perception.
In this book, you get to go to Equestria.
Topics like botched inception, reproduction, and the flying vor horses will be covered in
I
detail,
told you.
as well as new information on the various secret societies on both sides of the harsh human battle for the planet.
So you got Cerberus versus, I don't know, the forces of chaos?
Question. In this setting, does this mean the Thule Society might be the good guys in this case?
Probably. Like, at this point, I don't think Nazism will destroy the planet any harder than it already has been.
How will you master your new mystical power? Wraeththu, making the Nazis look like the good guys.
By the way, it's very close to just saying magical realm, and that is so unfortunate.
It's fitting, though. It is quite.
I mean,
Look at the cover! Look at that!
Do you think I should sue for copyright?
Hey, they copyright claimed one of our videos, might as well.
Okay.
Why not?
War is coming. The signs are everywhere. Many aspects of conflict have been built up to what looks like an inevitable war are covered. Many aspects of conflict have built up to what looks like an inevitable war are covered in this book.
It is grammatically correct, but it is not the cleanest cut sentence you could write.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun is if you had magic in tanks, like you had some spellcaster.
Oh, like magic-powered tanks? Like, imagine tanks that you're like, wait, you made an electrical tank? Well, kinda, but watch, and then you use magic to charge the battery. It's an electro-magical tank.
Or it could be that he's using his magic to try to augment the shell, so that
like you transmutate the shell so that like they have the like weird effects, like they just suddenly get bigger as soon as they leave the shell.
Either that, or that's one that when it hits, it has a lot more of a fire potency or anything like that.
No, that would be cool, and actually, that would be kind of a cool idea if I ever did a World War I, World War II era D&D setting.
Tribes from the New East would include the Bo-Zo-Zo-Kun from the Orient.
From the Orient, just the Orient, not.
Wow.
I mean, you realize, Gabriel Strange, that many people in the Orient have slaughtered each other due to minute differences between themselves. Yeah.
And I can tell just from the way those syllables are arranged that this is a very Japanese group.
Oh no.
Because in languages like Chinese and Koreans, you could actually fuse consonants together a bit. Oh wow, the Aborigines are actually a tribe.
The bizarre and secretive Aborigine. Not even original, just Aborigine, who come from an inaccessible land.
Don't you love that he basically just said, "Oh yeah, these original natives of Australia, they're fucking weird."
They huff petrol as part of their magic rites.
And dance around burning liquor stores as part of their fucking festival.
Laughing at the suffering of indigenous people. Always a good time.
Gabriel Strange, he's racist against the brown people.
The truth about reproduction is finally revealed. But is it just a hoax? Or are these reports of Harlings real?
So this is another book where he has to write about sex because, do you think he just lied about the covers?
Wants to.
No, do you think he just commissioned art of like porn and he just lied about them being books that he was going to write?
Probably.
Like he paid Jean Tay to draw this stuff just so he can wank to it.
I mean, look at these two covers. Like we kind of gloss over the first one, but it's two guys.
It has tentacle pornography. It looks like he's about to grab his dick.
It looks like it's in a bathroom.
There's an unconscious Bishonen character who is clearly not wearing clothes. Oh, and he's suckling his fingers. And then they're actively fucking in the next panel.
Oh god! And the player's guide art, there's even stain.
Oh, I did. Oh, you're right. But by the way, do you like the beholder that's slowly crawling to erase them all behind them?
God.
Oh, and here's the back page. We're fucking done. Oh wait, before we go, yes, this fucking thing cost $42.
I mean, this was in $2001. I mean,
no, it was in like $2005 or something.
Still, you could get the 3.5 player's guide for $30. $30 back then.
To give you an idea, the copy of the John Carter book I got from Modifius cost less money than this.
No, like I said, and I think this wasn't a hardback case. I bet this was a soft. They charged $42 for a soft.
Yeah, and mine was hardback, by the way.
Oh, and a quick fact. Apparently, Emanion Press is still around.
Oh, it is?
There's a website, and
before we look at that, we should probably give our ratings for this.
Okay. Well, I rate this.
So before we begin, here's what the ratings are. There's playable, there's trash, there's garbage fire, and then there's special ratings like the Waso, Deep Hurting, and True Namer. Oh,
you forgot decent.
Oh yeah, decent. I keep forgetting because we usually don't touch decent books in this game. In this episode.
Well, I'm conflicted on this because the rules itself are trash. Like, I mean, the mechanics of this book just are all over the place, and are it's like it tries to go out of its way to be a little bit too convoluted in the way to add complexity to it while making it most you just doing head scratching, like, what am I looking at? But the lore is so batshit insane and nonsensical that I feel like that it does press Waso territory. It's not the room of bad tabletop games. That belongs to Fatal in a league of its own. But this is definitely on par with either Neil Breen's Double Down or Get Even. Yeah.
Get Even.
I wouldn't say that the rules themselves are trash. I would say that if you played Wraeththu as it was, I mean, we didn't fully go through it, but I would say it's at least playable. Everything is there as it should be. The rules are mildly confusing, overly complex, ripped off from other settings 9 times out of 10, especially Magic.
And don't forget, there's such glories as fireproof chainmail.
And there are dumb things like that, yeah. But mechanically, it works. Lore-wise, I've mentioned so many times this is a very perfect Warhammer 40k setting if you really want to do like the old knight before the Emperor of Mankind came to save this planet from the Shrew people that are dominating it.
This alternatively, we could play a normal only war game, and we're playing the Imperial Guard going to invade this planet filled with devolved.
Yeah, but I still have a rating. I still have a rating to give it, and I'm gonna.
But I haven't finished because of that. I will say the lore is also Waso. 9 times out of 10, I was entertained and or disgusted. So it is very fun. It is a B movie that you insert. It's like watching House of the Dead. Uwe Boll's House of the Dead, where it doesn't work. It's cheesy. It's dumb as pig shit in a lot of places. But there's an insane charm to it that you're just like, I can't stop looking away.
Personally, I just find this trash.
It's bizarre.
It was more painful to read through than fun. I mean, I have fun shitting on it with you guys, but I personally would not touch this again.
Nope.
And personally, I put this as why so. It kind of reads like a parody of early White Wolf book. Or specifically like the player that was attracted to early White Wolf book.
The visual style is very much second edition Vampire. The art is nowhere near as good, but it does really feel like it crawled out of Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand. At least visually. It has a lot of elements to it. I mean, for fuck's sake, its magic is entirely based on the old World of Darkness mage. But I think he was also inspired to a degree by Dungeons and Dragons and GURPS.
Yeah.
Oh, it's wow. I never could have seen that.
Because there's a lot of GURPS mechanics that you see in here too. Like Dungeons and Dragons because he wanted it to be sword and sorcery, but GURPS for most of the for a good chunk of the guts. And World of Darkness because that's the vibe he was going for. He was aiming for that. He was aiming for that, but instead he made a fucking comedy. Like
Yeah,
it's almost like he was aiming for Alien and he came out doing Alf.
Did we get to
Like
see
he
a
was
cat?
aiming, he was aiming for Alien, but it came out either as like Alf or Mac and Me.
Yes, but do we at least get to see Alfie the cat at the very least?
Well, given that it's Shrew People, they probably ate most of the house cats that were not smart enough to hide from them.
Although they probably stink, I think most cats could run away.
I mean, they're supposed to be like more agile and stronger than humans, so.
Yeah, but you can smell them from like 100 miles away.
True, and cats are smart, usually.
Potentially.
There are some pretty dumb fucking cats, but yeah. And just because a cat's dumb doesn't mean they are not adorable, at least to me. For some reason, Biggie wants them all dead. I don't know why.
That's not true.
He only for some reason plays characters that keep wanting to either murder or destroy all cats.
Not all the time.
You monster.
He's going to like he's gonna go to the pearly gates when he dies, and then St. Peter will be like, "No, Chief, you're going down there," and there's just like an army of cats that are in hell hissing at you.
What? Do you want me to pet the pussy? Is that what you're telling me to do?
You gotta pet the pussy.
Actually, let me check again. We could maybe squeeze in a little bit of the criticism, or we can call it here.
Let's squeeze in a few of his more. Want to do this? Oh.
Well, let's let the others decide. Like, I wouldn't mind, but the others, how they decide.
I think we should post some of the criticism because we did so for Chad Walker's Trasterpiece that is Sigmata, so it's only fair.
Or how his justification for how there are no guns.
All right, link him in, and I'll get to the page for it.
Or the Wikipedia page. Or oh yeah, Emanion Press is still around. It just publishes like speculative fiction. I don't see the RPG listed.
All right, so
why?
Let's start with this one. So this is Gabriel Strange responding to him. This person.
Yeah, Gabby2600 is his username.
So it originally posted by another person. So it's a regressed culture, one that no longer knows how to make gunpowder or even black powder, one that no longer knows how to do simple things like melt lead. And yes, we knew how to melt lead since 2000 BC. It's not fucking hard. Yet it's a culture that can forge swords. So the RPG system doesn't actually generate players and characters' behavior like in the books, because it wasn't designed for the setting in the books. Maybe I misunderstand.
It's not that they have forgotten how to make gunpowder, it's the manufacturing needed to get the shells, parts, and chemicals for the gun. And upon of reflection of the past and the way the humans used guns has tainted their need for guns.
Because sword is equally good for
Al-
genocide. Ask the
also,
Assyrians.
also because they have superior healing capability and the ability to heal through magic. A gunshot is fairly pointless because it only slows them down a little. A sword cut will do far more damage.
From what I've read, I'm pretty sure getting your brains blown out is still going to kill most of these guys.
Also, I can make an instant, if I'm a good enough shot, I can aim for appropriate center of mass shots. I can make you collapse your lung. I can instantly hit your heart, and also cause horrific internal.
You don't even need to do that because I'm just thinking in my head, the Gatling gun can fire as the equivalent amount of rounds as 80 trained riflemen.
I was also just going to say, there's also just that in modern warfare, you don't usually get the clean death of a bullet. You usually get the explosive death.
Yeah, why aren't they just making the old hand grenades, which are literally the Acme bomb style fuse throwing things that you throw over?
Alternatively, what you could make is you can make basically World War I's level artillery and shell these fuckers out.
Well, no, remember, he thinks that shells are impossible to make for some fucking reason.
Also, isn't it technically more cruel to fight with melee weapons then? Because you know that this is hurting more, which means that if, for instance, if a horror warrior regenerates, if it was from a regenerated bullet, it's no big deal, which means, oh, well, less pain. But if it's a thing, they've got to regrow their fucking arm that got horribly chopped off by an axe.
But shortcuts will do more damage. And then you're there, EHEIR, to follow it up with another.
By the way, you know what I can do? That here's a fuck you, Gabe. If I want to be there to make sure they're dead, you know what I could do? I could pull like a pirate thing where I have like 12 one-shot pistols, and I just keep pulling out ones to keep blowing holes into you.
Oh, that's interesting. This next line, it ? S. Just look at your keyboard. How do you fuck up that badly?
Does it at least have to
no, it's close. It's close enough on a keyboard. But my question on why the fuck didn't he double check before he posted this?
It's not so much a regressed culture, more an enlightened culture that has learned from the mistakes of their predecessors.
Wouldn't you want to humanely kill people quicker?
At the end of the day, they are trying not to make the mistakes the humans did.
Bullshit. Look at what we fucking read with the Ugandans. Which made up most of your shitty book, by the way.
However, in the early stages of their development, they tend to experiment with many things until they can get a happy balance that works well.
Gabriel Strange on the drugs he has taken.
No, the system does not force any kind of behavior. It was originally designed as a modular, open system that could be used in any setting.
This is him admitting he stole probably about half of the mechanics from GURPS.
As you can imagine, with a pre-developed system, it would be pointless developing a new system for this game.
I'm too lazy to come up with my own rules.
So we leave the role-playing option open for the players.
While telling them what to do, you fucking pigs.
Also, my question is, I just want to just kill these things with chemical gas. Can I just play the human character that plays that way?
Yeah, actually, it's really easy to do that. You just mix bleach and ammonia. There you go, mustard gas.
Oh, crap, wrong. Wrong thing. This was,
There's a lot of stupid things Gabe has said, so he has to sift through it.
Yeah, I think that might,
but I like how he assumes that black powder weapons had shells. No, that wasn't a thing until pretty far along in the black powdered rifles.
Lots of balls. Actually, wouldn't he have loved it because you got to play with balls, lots of balls.
Yeah, you got to play with delicious wall candy balls that you could eat, and you get.
I don't think proper fully cartridge rounds only came until about the
1850s, basically. Yeah, 60s.
More 1860s was whenever Actually,
Because
the
I
Okay,
think
Springfield
the
there we
French
go.
Chasspot rifle might have had a cartridged version of the mini ball.
Uh,
But
well,
shells in particular for rifles were not a thing until the 1860s,
I
70s.
think the Springfield trapdoor rifle is one of the first official cartridge rifles in America, and I believe that was 63 or 60, either 62 or 63 when that was. But by the time it came to the boys in the Union, the war was pretty much already
It
over.
was pretty much used by cavalry, basically, at the end. I know
So
shells have
this
been
is
used in artillery. Sorry, Randall.
yeah. So this is actually the OP of the thread. This was when it like the announcement first came out, and here's Gabe claiming that White Wolf ripped us off.
Oh my
Okay,
god!
here we go.
Well, technically, I forget. I actually legitimately forgot because I can't remember if we talked about this. Was the actual tabletop game actually funded by the actual author who wrote the original series? Because remember, this is technically based off of like a series from the '80s or something.
I
Was
think
she
so.
alive at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. She probably said, "Yeah, okay, it's fine. Just give me a
At the very
penny."
least, she sold the rights.
I wouldn't say she sold the rights. I think she asked for probably enough money for whatever for like to get new crystals. So as a
Her name is
production fee.
amazing. Her name's amazing. It's Storm Constantine.
I want to read this by Colin Chapman.
Oh, apparently she's done actually a lot more than just Wraeththu.
I have a
We're not
sudden
here to talk about her.
Can Al finish, please?
originally posted by Colin Chapman. I have a sudden urge to change my name to something like Lucifer Nightshade because that'd be cool. Shouldn't it be Lucy Frey Night Shield? It's not pretentious until you change the spelling and replace it with I's and Y's. Smiley face. Smiley face. I'm not convinced it isn't some elaborate internet hoax. It looks too pretentious and too much of a White Wolf parody to be real. I mean, clans of hermaphrodite super beings running around in ghettos. Here is the original from the FAQ, though.
So this is actually from Gabe himself.
No,
Aren't you?
Oh, the FAQ is.
Aren't you just copying White Wolf with the use of tribes and some of their ideas? Well, let's reverse this question to get the truth. Many aspects of Vampire the Masquerade and other World of Darkness books used ideas from the works of Storm Constantine. I'm going to press X to down on that one. Indeed, anyone who has the first edition of VTM can find evidence of this by turning to the front of the book and reading, thanks to acknowledgments.
You know what I'm gonna do just because out of fucking spite? I'm going to actually check to see if what he said is real.
Continue reading, Al.
Wraeththu started way back in 1973 when Storm wrote her first short story based on their world. Some 13 years later, in 86, the first Wraeththu novel was published. Oh, God. This book influenced a lot of people, including apparently some of the writers who created the White Wolf worlds, thanks to them being on psychoactives. As a side note, you might be interested to know that Storm has also written material for White Wolf, thanks with Phil Brucato. Oh God, we may have more material, boys. Technically, the World of Darkness can be seen as a lesser cut. What? Oh, the fucking audacity!
Lesser
the
cut,
fucking,
really? There's a
which
reason
was
why the first edition is still liked even by graybeards. It's very open, yes, but that means that you can do a lot of stories with it. It's before politics really became a massive thing in it.
we cannot be accused of plagiarizing White Wolf's game when Wraeththu appears to have been part of the source material for VTM.
Fuck you.
We just waited for the right time, circumstances, to experience to produce the richly colored world of Wraeththu as a game. With the sad demise of the World of Darkness range, we hope that many will try to enjoy Gabriel Strange. Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a load of shit.
The fucking audacity to say something like that.
So he said it's in the acknowledgements page, yes?
Yeah.
Alright then. I am officially in the first edition Vampire the Masquerade. 1991 by White Wolf. Reproduction of this book. Credits, design, written by, development, design contributors. Let's see. Art, layout, cover concept, calligrapher, dedication. I am a special thanks. And would it be here? Vampire game session, artist models. Let me see. I might be just. Let's see.
And I'm only
By
gonna
now,
read.
everyone should see that I am not seeing a Storm Constantine here. So I don't
What?
know what the fuck he's huffing. So yeah, in conclusion, Gabriel is a fat fucking liar.
And yeah, I'm just gonna read a bit of this text ball that he posted because he was mad at people making fun of his game. On weapons, as I have said, and someone else mentioned, the reason they T use gun is basically the manufacturing of ammunition. S is not like making gunpowder. Like making gun early guns were designed that way. Modern weapons use chemical explosions. They are both designed to deal with what they use. So as manufacturing has broken down, ammunition is only made by specialists and not at a very fast pace. So, nobody's making musket. Okay, Gabe. Okay.
I mean, to give you an idea, Chinese philosophers just were able to casually make it in their quest for immortality and getting high. No, seriously, gunpowder was an accidental chemical they made in their quest for immortality. Oh, and drugs. They made a lot of psychedelic drugs. I am not fucking with you.
The real world model we used was that of cause and effect within a universe that does not accept forced change through magic, a bit like the rubber band theory of temporal paradox, that any change you make in the path will try to correct itself in the best and most natural manner, keep the timeline constant. With this use of cause and effect, it makes magic a trick and hard thing to do, with consequences at every turn.
By the way, what does this have to do with the fact that I can't just rapidly pull a Blackbeard and just pull one-shot pistols and just gun you down like an ape?
Also, we have done a fair amount of research into magical beliefs such as Kabbalah, Enochian, Egyptian, Thematic, and chaos magic theory.
There's no fucking way this brainlet has even studied Kabbalah. To give you an idea, that takes your entire fucking life. Because that is how autistically obsessed with numbers the Jewish people are.
And this guy has definitely not had enough sex to understand Thelma.
Okay, so with Kabbalah, you know who else claimed to have read that? Sargon of fucking Akkad.
It's not wrong.
God. And then being stupid and asking me if I tested my magic system, the same could be said about my many other games and their space combat system.
So he didn't test them at all.
We try to find as much information we can about a subject to get as many angles on it.
Fucking
As for the comment of realism, I would be more inclined to believe that the human race can evolve into hermaphrodites than believe in vampires, werewolves, and elves.
No, because the problem with true hermaphrodism is it really cuts down on genetic diversity. See, the reason why species usually form two genders is because that allows you to shuffle the deck gene-wise, so it's harder for diseases to kill you.
But no. For one, there is quite a bit of medical evidence that eventually the human race may evolve into a hermaphroditic life form.
What third-party Chinese website did you get that news from? Is it the same one that told us children can crush rocks with their mind?
I don't have it right now, but gave a link to a bunch of creationist websites.
Yeah, honestly, I think you'd believe them wholeheartedly if you changed the word Christ with the word magic.
I've also read something in there, apparently, that a heart shot won't instantly kill them just due to meditation horseshit.
No, with their metabolism, they would drop like a fucking stone.
Oh my god.
It would explode out in fucking massive bursts.
As for medical evidence, there have been many medical studies into the male and female chromosomes. Almost all humans have an amount of each. Usually it's a fair bias mixed to their sex. It is very
He learned
rare.
about mosaicism, which is actually fairly uncommon. Because to give you an idea, usually the twins absorbed isn't identical. Sorry, Gabe, your autism is wrong.
It is very rare.
Just because you're going pure gender fluid 10 years early doesn't mean you're still right.
Have a complete set of chromosomes for their sex.
Thankfully, Gabriel Strange has a nice 3 sets of chromosomes to work with.
So, in some part, all humans are partial hermaphrodites on a medical level. This, in its own right, has led to many disorders such as retracted penises and bearded women. So, Gabriel Strange.
So he heard about things like XXY syndrome and XYY syndrome and mosaicism, which all of these are fairly uncommon, but okay.
Oh. So as for realistic hermaphrodites, most of our real research has been done for us by medical professionals. If the reports we have read are wrong, then Don T blame us. New scientist.
I will blame you because you chose to just take the first thing that satisfied your retarded autism and fucking ran with it. You know, like an average creationist or conspiracy theorist would do. Oh, by the way, the intersex thing he's talking about, that's like what, 1 in 10,000 cases? And usually it's a mangled mishmash. It's not usually so cut and dry. It's usually closer to one or the other. True, you can't fucking tell is really rare.
Oh, and this, when somebody criticized
by the
him
way,
for
most
saying,
of them are infertile. Just let me just add that into the mix.
this is an interesting response by him. The physics that would be relevant to space combat have been understood pretty well for a couple hundred years. A claim that such a system is realistic can actually have some basis in fact. A claim that a magic system is realistic makes you stupid.
Yeah.
And this is his response. Okay, I have to say this. You have really contradicted yourself here, and I do think you are the one who sounds stupid. I'm open-minded enough.
No, you're not. You're
close-minded. Anything can happen. Spaceflight, magic, parallel universes, and aliens. I'm prepared to...
I'm not gay, you're gay!
By the way, he spelled parallel wrong.
Yes, just because someone in a white coat tells me he cannot see this is happen.
So he's literally using personal experience. Fuck you. That's the most garbage form of evidence. Go in the fucking trash where you belong, Gabe.
In reality, anything could happen by categorically saying a think like space combat could happen, and magic cannot is just stupid.
So what you're saying is if I envision you getting thrown into a dumpster by an angry horde of chavs, that'll happen in real life?
It is
because anything's possible. So Gabriel Strange, right now, I can prove it because I have remote viewing, and no, I can't prove it. He is currently crying in a dumpster as people are literally dunking on him and calling him nerd.
It is as short-sighted as saying there is just one God. I'm sorry, but this really gets my
it gets your hackles up because mommy and daddy expected you to fucking get a job.
Oh God. Spelled it heckles, not hackles.
Well, we are heckling the shit out of him, so.
Just look back in history. Capital flight was considered impossible.
Impossible. And no, actually, the concept of spaceflight has been a thing since at least actually for a very long fucking time. Because remember, Icarus in ancient Greek times got so close to the fucking sun, his wings melted and he began burning up.
Travel beyond the speed of sound was proven to be impossible.
Using what sources? Tell me your sources, you angry, dead inside conspiratard.
Please think before saying such things.
You don't think, though! You just take what you want and run with it because thinking hard for a smooth brain like you.
Blame me all you want, but don't call me
I will
stupid
blame you for being lazy.
in a comment that, in its own right, is short-sighted and closed-minded. And
Nice projection there, you motherfucker.
And I think this will be the last bit because this is a long ass thread.
This is entertaining.
Yeah, I'll post the we'll post
We'll
the
post
link
the
to
link
the
so
archive.
you can watch an angry new age hippie who literally you could probably trick him into refusing cancer treatment by just telling him if he eats enough fucking magnets he'll get better. Like if you tell him to eat rat poison because of its naturopathic remedies, he'll probably believe it.
And this is his final chimp out. This is
The
right after.
last
Okay,
One
so
last hurrah.
I'll read I'll go over what the actual sane person is saying. About this is about him linking his proof that humans will evolve into hermaphrodites.
Oh, and this is where he gets destroyed. Oh shit! Oh boy! Oh boy!
So the first three
He's a
links.
sex maniac.
The first doesn't assert that
but
humans could.
I'm seeing it. It's spoiled. He pulled the Sargon. Gabe sleepy.
Well, let's get the first
Gabriel
doesn't assert
need
that
more dopamine, more serotonin.
Okay.
Sorry.
The second article's quoted authority says, in short, the hermaphroditic state arises because of a defect in development. Such defects happen in our fallen world. It does not involve any new genetic information, so it has nothing to do with evolution. The lesson is,
website.
If readers are faced with a proof of evolution, just ask whether any new genetic information arises, i.e., whether it really has anything to do with real molecules to man evolutions, and how this proof refutes the biblical creation
Holy
framework.
Shit, this dumb motherfucker's a young earth creationist, but isn't a Christian.
The third
he's a
simply
hippie.
ends with...
He's one of those weird new agers that don't believe in things like the earth being... I bet he believes the earth's flat.
Probably.
He's using creationist website sources for this. How fucking
you
embarrassing.
Guys, you don't understand. He doesn't believe the world's just flat. He also believes it's on the back of a giant turtle.
No, actually, that one's true. His name is Jimmy.
And the third article simply ends with, but I will state clearly, as a biologist, that a true hermaphrodite cannot happen in humans. The person you are looking at is either male or female, or possibly neither, but never both.
So it disproved his own point. He picked an article that disproved his own point.
Who wants to read his chimp out?
Me.
Greg, you're really quiet, so Biggie, I think you get it.
Biggie, finish this off before Greg kills himself out of depression.
All right.
I wasn't asking to do it. I was trying to restrain my grounds of pain.
Oh,
okay. What kind of voice do you want me to do?
Just go wherever you want.
Okay, well, I'll say it as I do. I actually do have work to do, and personally, I hope to actually get some sensible people on here with some serious questions.
He's running away. He's pulling a Sargon.
I did, and I answered them. I hope with the information they required. If those people have any more questions, please visit the game site and send an email, and I will reply. But it may take a day or so. I do regard sensible feedback as important, but too many stupid comments and people just been plain silly should send their comments to Microsoft.
You can't refute them. He got owned so hard he can't.
Why Microsoft?
I don't know.
Why
maybe
Microsoft?
Gabe's an Apple user.
I'm sad to say that I used to regard role players as quite open-minded people who are quite intelligent and sensible at times.
People who agreed with me mindlessly because I am a fucking freak who is closed-minded and basically chose to throw out whatever little bit of education I fucking remembered from middle school out.
If this is a cross-section of role-playing society, sadly the behavior on this board of some people have made me think twice about this. I think it's why I'm glad we're aiming the Wraeththu game at attracting new role players who I hope will play the game with a more open-minded viewpoint.
Case in point, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad that I'm getting kicked out of so many gaming groups for trying to force them to have sex.
That's why many of our staff are now role players, as that their opinion on what they are doing is important.
He's
We
pulling
may
a
be
social justice warrior move before the social justice movement became a thing. He's
we
getting
may be
non-experts to do the fucking everything else for him.
we may be attempting the impossible here and trying to attract new blood by removing the geek with a gun fetish image from role
What?
playing.
Normally, it's the 500, like it's the SpongeBob image of Art Without Feeling It. It's Friday night, motherfuckers, where he's in the fucking Jingles the Elf costume. That's more what I think of when I think of geek scamming. Maybe a fat man with a trilby with Cheetos on his hand rolling a die, but you know.
We cannot forget the iconic image of Satanists in our basement.
Well, yeah. There's also lanky ass like Gollum looking Noah in his basement.
Oh damn it! You said Satanist. That's foreshadowing, people. You don't want to give up.
Well, no, I've spoiled the shit about what we're reading next.
Oh my god. I would like to say that the non-role players who have read what we have done have expressed a great interest in playing this game because of what way we have written it.
He's pulling he's pulling the failing restaurant owner. People love our food when they come in, and you see no one in the fucking building.
The positive feedback from them is wonderful, as it means I might just do. It means I might just do what we hope and get us a new audience.
Well, they're not saying that this stuff we wrote shit, so it has to be good, right?
But I have to deport for a while to get things done. I'll pop back every now and then to see what's happening here.
I am such a narcissist and weirdo that I have to stalk my own thread, but I'm too much of a bitch to respond back because I got owned.
If you do have any pressing questions about the setting or the system, I urge you to email them, to mail them the email addressed on the site. I leave you with mixed feelings, as some of you have been great people and spoken in a good, well-mannered fashion, and I wish you the best. The rest I will leave in their own words, thinking about big guns, swords, and well-endowed women.
I will leave that response with saying that is the gayest equivalent of "I'll pray for you" I've ever heard. Because that is basically what he did in that cuntish way that you know the person that does that because they think that they're better than you. He's pulling at that.
To be fair, I would love to play boobs and guns. That'd be fucking awesome.
I think that actually is an RPG somewhere.
Probably.
Boobs and guns. It's like 10 pages long. Well, it's 10 pages long, and then like the rest of the book, which is about 100 pages, is just hardcore fucking. Just hardcore fucking with big titties.
And that is Wraeththu.
Well, you don't get titties with Wraeththu. You just get flower dicks and pedophiles.
I know you guys liked it, but would any of you particularly mind if I printed out a copy of this and then burned it?
Oh no,
go ahead.
It's fine. Actually, if you do it, can you film it so that I can add it to the end of this fucking episode?
I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can get like a 2-bit lighter for it.
Don't worry, I'll just get a garbage fire dumpster GIF if you can't. Like we said, support the official release so you too can pull what Greg did and burn the fucking book.
Greg honestly, be careful, Greg. I don't want you to burn yourself in protest of this book like the monks did.
Please, Albas, do you think this is the first book burning I've done?
Honestly, I'm more worried about the first transmission of syphilis through inhalation than anything else. Like I said, when you do it, you might want to wear a gas mask and a hazmat suit.
Good night, everybody.